Alright, everybody. Is Vicious here, the Immersive Arcade, and Anubis here, also the Immersive Arcade. And yeah, he says hey, in case I talked over him. Uh, we're going to be talking about emulation today. This whole subject was brought on by basically Kotaku because they were talking about the emulation for the new Metroid Dread game, and I guess some people were a little annoyed by it because it like put eyes on emulation, and people don't want their links shut down. People want to just emulate Metroid Dread, and also I guess some people were just pissed just because it was just poor journalism of them talking anyway. Like I guess they didn't really talk about the frame rate appropriately or some bullshit I don't care about. But for me, I want to talk about emulation and the practice of it and what I think is acceptable and what I think is kind of unacceptable and just rude. Because I do believe that there's acceptable emulation, but my good buddy Anubis does not know the difference between, that and just stealing games from
I
fucking
mean,
stores.
it's all stealing to me. Like you're downloading the game regardless. The only difference is Metroid, like you said, it's a new game.
I think another difference, another nuance is because I got into this argument in our group on Facebook, and well, really his group. I'm just a part of it. Whatever. But I got into an argument with this girl, and he's known her for years. He doesn't know how he knows her. I don't think.
I mean, it's chat rooms and stuff.
Yeah, they were on chat roulette, and she showed him his dick, her dick. Anyway, yeah. So we had a chat, and I told her that I don't know about this practice in the future. I don't think it's a good idea, and I brought that to Anubis' attention, and to that Anubis said, "You emulate anyways as well," or something like that. You also emulate. Laugh my ass off.
No.
Yeah, and I was just like, well, that's different. I own the games. I own the games, and not only that, but if I do emulate something, I emulate something that's like impossible to get from anybody but scalpers nowadays. I think there's a little bit of nuance there, and I don't know. Like, could you elaborate on why it's just still stealing to you?
I mean, because did you pay for it? Like that's bottom line to me. It's really simple with me, and this is what I was trying to say right before we started. It's just not a big deal to me. Nintendo's still going to get their money, which it's funny that you're upset about the whole pirating thing, and it's for Nintendo, I guess, but I don't know. And I guess it's kind of hypocritical of me too, because we were talking about Days Gone, I think on one pod, right? And the guys behind that were saying, yeah, you guys should have just bought the game when it came out. So I mean, in that sense, yeah, it'll hurt some games, but also like you said, this is Metroid. Metroid's gonna get their money.
Yeah, they're gonna get their money, but I disagree on the stance that just because I didn't pay for it. Like, I paid for the game before. Final Fantasy VII Dirge of Cerberus, I did a streaming series on it, and I didn't do that shit off PS2. I have a PS2 adapter. I did everything I could to still use my PlayStation 2 because that's the game that it's on. It's only on PS2. They never re-released it, and I found that you can emulate it. So I did it because I own the game. I don't need to pay for it twice, and to be fair, for the technology that we have, this the version of the game I got is actually inferior. Like, I just don't think that it's the same as like getting a brand new game, especially since there's so many games that could be affected by this, and you know, Eva, whatever her name is, it seemed like she's a pirate. Like
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, like
For sure.
she's just a pirate. She don't give a fuck, and she like makes every excuse in the book to like just delete it from her conscience. It's actually kind of funny because I brought up the developers. She's like, the developers don't get paid extra. Like, no, but they get incentive to make other games. Like,
Say, and like I'm sure they do get paid some kind of commission. Like I don't know that
probably.
for sure. That'd be insane if they didn't.
Probably. I mean, I'm not sure because it's probably like a flat rate, and it's probably like something like where the publisher will give you more money and more resources. Which equates to probably more vacation days. Just better computers and like just better whatever. If you make a successful product. But I always bring up Tekken. Tekken Tag 2. It sold less than 2 million within a year, and then they I guess they're about to like call it quits on Tekken. This is a 42 million selling franchise and like just 7 installments, and they're about to say no more. So like what I think about Emulation, I don't think that I don't think it's fair comparing what I do to what like somebody like her might do. Like
Right.
I think,
And like I said, I do acknowledge that it's worse on games that aren't in series, stuff like that. That's not like established. But again, just in the end game, to me, it's just like it's still the same shit.
yeah,
And even getting games, like you said, they're hard to get outside of like going through like a scalper or something. I just like even the scalper, you still stole it.
no, I don't think it's not stealing. Like that doesn't even make any sense. Like if I got it from the scalper, it's still stealing. Like that, no.
I mean, you're not paying the devs directly.
That doesn't matter. Like it's not. They don't own the game. They own They own the rights to the game. They own the names, but the game in itself is disc can be sold to anybody. So like if you get it from somebody, if I sold, because I remember I sold your nephew some games. He didn't steal them from fucking EA. He didn't steal Def Jam Icon. He bought it from me, and just go on from there. Like that's not stealing from anybody. He acquired something that I was willing to give away because I was willing to part with it for a certain amount of money. With that idea, I feel like anything you hand down or anything like you sell to anybody is just stolen. Like if somebody's like sells their car, do you think that they're stealing from the manufacturer?
Sure. No, I'm joking.
I was about to say that's.
I mean, that's a different. I almost said genre. It's not a fucking genre, but that's a different. What's up?
I said I hate you. Go ahead.
That's a different situation. You know what I mean? Like cars are. It's not media like at all. So.
It's property.
Yeah, but it's not something that you. It's like a necessary property, like people are always going to buy cars out of pure necessity now. That can't be said for games and movies, entertainment.
Some people buy cars for recreational purposes.
I mean, a lot of people buy cars so that they can do recreational purposes, but like it's, again, like I said, it's mainly out of necessity that people get them now.
I mean, there's still people that still get cars just to get cars. Like, I know a guy in Iowa, he didn't need to get a Mustang. He got a Mustang, though. It wasn't necessary. He wanted a Mustang, and he wanted to, like, put some stuff on it. Excuse me?
I see what you're saying.
But
it's still... like I said, that's still to me that's just a different argument.
Okay.
Which I mean, it can work on some level, I guess, but I wouldn't use it for pirating games and movies and stuff like that. I wouldn't.
I mean, I get it. It's a really big analogy, but you know, I could say the same thing about a pair of clippers. If I sold somebody a pair of clippers, it's not
See, that's
necessary that
another
they.
one. I don't. That's weird. I wouldn't
But
use that for video games.
hmm?
It's,
Well, I mean, I'm just looking for different things that are like smaller, since a car is too much for you. Like, okay, what about I sell somebody a keyboard? I sold somebody a microphone. I sold somebody like a book.
I guess books would work because I mean
Oh,
that's
shut up.
yeah, well, I'm just saying like it's consumable media.
Yeah. I bottom line, I still think it's like a huge difference in like getting a brand new game and then getting a game that's not even being sold by the developer or the publisher anymore openly. Like
Right.
the thing is, like, you go to Game Exchange and they're a reseller. They might crack your head over like some rare game. They even had, at least in our town, the one that was here, they had like rare games in a case right in front of you.
Yeah.
They didn't charge like the normal price for them. It just, that's another conversation. Like, demand. The thing is, with stuff like that, I feel like there's a certain sense of the supply and demand. Um, I don't know too many people that want like a Sega CD, but
Right.
there's so many motherfuckers that will sell a Sega CD for like more than a PS5. That's a
Well, and I mean something like that too is I think by now it's a collector's item. So
shut up.
I mean
But
I'm just Sega CD like anything older at this point than like hell PS2 and older. I would say is kind of on oh what's that word I'm thinking of?
the
I can't
endangered.
for not being able to think of it. Like I said, it's like a collector's item now.
Hmm. Anyway, yeah, sure, it is, but like, I still think I need to bring it back to emulation. I'm getting sidetracked. I think that this is bad for the industry
Well,
because
I mean, and that kind of goes without saying. Like it's always been bad for the industry. It's just a matter of, like I said, it's the difference for me is being new games versus, or not new games, well, new games as well, but new games and like established series over stuff like Metroid. Halo being pirated, I care a lot less about Halo being pirated than something like what's a good like indie title or something that we've played recently. Haven being pirated would bother me. Now that I've played it, especially because it really is a good game.
yeah,
Kinoa being pirated would be more bothering to me than like Halo or Gears or God of War being pirated. But
see, I
I
mean,
mean, and that's not to say that it just doesn't bother me at all on any side. But like I said, I don't care nearly as much.
yeah, see, like, I'm still bothered a decent amount by it because like some of these games, they're not all guaranteed to sell really well. It's not going to happen for like Xbox and PC games and PlayStation games for a while, but for Switch, even though Nintendo is a fucking scumbag with their business practices, I still think that it's a little fucked up. Like, what's going to happen when Shin Megami Tensei 5 comes out?
Yeah,
That's like a game that needs proof that is going to be a sustainable franchise going forward, I would think. And I think that past Persona games, like Persona 5, I know it said past, it's been in the past, it came out a long time ago.
Past by now, I would say they're
Yeah.
working on 6 and other stuff.
Yeah, that game sold like 2 million copies in 2 months, and this is any like indication of how important that is. Persona 4, before Persona 5 released, it came out in 2008. That game sold 800,000 copies, and part of that is probably because of Persona 4 Arena, which sold I think it went multi-million or something like that. But
Right.
my point is, SMT games aren't like the most popular thing ever, and I'm sure they'll still make another one. But man, think about that.
Like you said, they need to prove themselves, especially coming to a new console.
Yeah, because like I don't have, well, I do, but it's not my Switch, and you know, if I was like Eva's fucking pirating ass, I might just fucking get SMT5 on my fucking PC, and that doesn't count as a sale, and I'll never buy it. And
Yeah.
then what? There's a lot of people that could do that. Ever since the pandemic started and we started getting those big checks, that's where the big boom of PC players has come from. Because
Yeah.
everybody was able to afford a PC, you and I included.
That's where we came from, and I don't know if you would have gotten into it eventually or not, but that's definitely
Oh,
where
well. I would have eventually, but it definitely sped up the process.
yeah.
Yeah, it was just it was just like killer on me thinking that last night, because I was just thinking like, damn, SMT5 might get pirated immediately because Metroid Dread just came out 2 days ago, right? Or was it how many days ago?
It's been a couple of days, and I mean, to worry about a game getting pirated immediately, like every game gets pirated immediately. You know what I mean? So
I don't know about that, Chieftain.
Well, I mean, is immediately being as quickly as possible, as soon as people can do their hacker man shit or whatever it is that they. What the fuck? Oh, an Amber Alert.
Oh, that's loud.
Yeah. Hey, well, and they're meant to be. Child's missing. But what was I saying? Oh, but yeah, people are pretty much from the time of release, and even before that, data mining and all that. People are constantly working on pirating things in general. And I actually seen an article, I think it's for this game that's coming out tonight, Back for Blood.
Oh, that comes out tonight?
Yeah, it
Damn.
drops tonight.
Damn.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I'm out of the loop.
They're using something, I think, that's supposed to help fight pirating or something. I forget what it. There's an article about it, and I think what they were saying that it might cause issues with how it runs on console and or PC. But I mean, between fixing that and or like I said, people doing whatever it is that they do to pirate games, it's going to happen eventually, and when it does, people are going to pirate the game. That sucks, but I mean,
I think
it is what it is.
I think that there should be limits, and I think that emulators should be thrown a bone every now and again, though. Like, I think that if you are unable to attain whatever, then you should be able to emulate if you have a PC sturdy enough to do so. X-Men Origins Wolverine, I never owned that game.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen it. Have you?
Yeah, it's kind of an older game. I played a little bit of it way back.
Yeah, well, it's like not even arguably, it's like the best game that you could play with Wolverine in it, and
Yeah. One
that-
of the only ones. There's not very many X-Men games. Well, aside from the, Marvel versus Capcom, but there's not very many Wolverine or games with Wolverine in it.
yeah, and that game you can't download it on PS3. I do have a PS3.
Yeah.
Still, I can't fucking download it on there. It's not downloadable. This is before the games were being were able to download. You know,
Right.
so like that, I think that's fine. There are games that got taken off those stores that I think you should be fine emulating. Like there's stuff on the Wii U. I think Wii U should be open season
Right.
because I don't know if
Stuff like
motherfucker.
Vita and PSP even.
Yeah, I don't know where you could find. Well, I'm on the fence about Vita. It depends on like there's nothing new dropping, but like if it was something brand spanking new, I just think you'd be an asshole to emulate it because just because like they made the effort to put it on the Vita. You know, the system doesn't get that much support, and then it gets some support. You're just like free. You know.
Well, and then too, like, do you have access to a Vita? But I mean, if that's you can, I'm sure you can find. And let me actually look this up. I'm sure you can find a Vita for cheap because they're not selling.
Yeah,
But
maybe able to even find a PlayStation TV like what I got.
yeah,
That shit was whew. For $99. I guess it ain't bad. You get to play Vita games at home.
yeah.
But yeah, I was just worried, you know. And then I just get fucking I get these unfair comparisons from you. It's the same thing. It's all stealing. I'm like, oh my gosh.
I
Nice.
mean, yeah. Whoa, shit. Amazon tripping. They still got Vitas on here for like $400.
Oh man, it's going Wii U status. That shit's gonna be
Vita Wi-Fi 2000 for 289.
AT&T connection.
Yeah. Crystal Black Limited Edition for 515.
Oh man,
It looks brand new though.
get yourself a Wii U.
No, I'm good.
You don't want the virtual console. They are already reselling some of them N64 games now. I seen a post where I think Banjo Kazooie is being sold on the Switch, right?
Uh, I don't know. Maybe.
Gotcha. What are you playing? What are you,
$30.
what are you playing Back for Blood on your PC?
Yeah, because
Oh, man,
I don't.
I knew it.
Yeah.
This guy,
So what?
he pretends.
What?
I said this guy, he pretends.
Pretends what? I can't play it on my Xbox.
Yep, I know.
I can't play anything on my Xbox.
I know you can't. Yeah, you just pretend not to be a PC player.
Well, I mean, what else am I supposed to do? What do I do? When I get my Xbox going again, I'll play it on there because it's on Game Pass.
Artists,
Say what?
artists suffer for their art.
What does that have to? I don't understand.
If you're really an Xbox gamer, you're gonna have to suffer. You're just gonna have to hold this L and fucking find a heat sink or some shit to keep your Xbox from catching on fire.
Oh well, I mean,
And no, you can't play the game, man. You said that's not what you got the PC for. I'm sorry.
Is that what this is about? You want me to play strictly on Xbox?
Nah, man, you gotta play on console. You can't be playing on PC. You said you wasn't gonna do that.
It's not what I said at all, but okay.
Yeah,
No.
it's exactly what
No.
you said. You said,
No,
I'm not gonna be playing
You gonna have-
PC. I'm only playing for PC games. You said this when both your consoles broke, and now you're like, I'm gonna get Back for Blood
both my
because
consoles broke.
you're like, I'm gonna get Back for Blood because I have weakness.
Oof.
Anyway, so yeah, emulating new games is definitely stealing, but what I'm doing is completely fine, and Anubis is wrong. So that's it for today. Any closing words, sir?
Well, I brought up Game Pass and Back for Blood being on there for free, and I think that I wonder how does that go for fighting piracy?
What? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, being able to play big titles, like I said, Gears and Halo, Back for Blood, Outriders, there's a bunch of titles on there that you can play just not for free, but if you pay if you pay into Game Pass, you get a lot of content. So, and that's on PC and Xbox. So I wonder what that do to deter piracy.
I don't know, because I think those publishers and developers are like, they got a contract with MS, and I'm certain that they're either they're compensated or they've already been compensated for whatever sales they may or may not get, or how many downloads they may or may not get, or how much activity they get on those games. I'm not entirely sure. That's a really good question. I don't know how much it would deter though, because the fuck wants those games anyway. Like, you got Metroid Dread. I'm sorry, I couldn't help it. I had to do that. Yeah, I don't know, man. Back for Blood seems like it's the most the biggest title for Game Pass.
Left 4 Dead 3, it's
Yeah. It sure is. It sure is. I don't know though. It's a really good question. I'm stumped. I don't know. It probably does help fight piracy because it incentivizes people to, just pay fucking $5 and they get multiple games. Like, how cheap could you be? Oh, I don't even know if it's $5. How cheap could you be?
It's close to that, like it's not a whole lot at all.
Right. How cheap could you be to like not do Game Pass if you had a fucking Xbox? Anyway.
An Xbox or a PC, and not to say, that maybe you're just not interested in Microsoft games, like there are people out there like that. But like if you're wanting to play like the games that I mentioned, and instead of paying like you said, $5, and you'd rather just pirate it, like that's the work to pirate something at that point outweighs just paying the $5 a month. Just pay the money.
Nah, man. Eva's gonna get the fucking Switch version of not Left 4 Dead, Back for Blood. And she's gonna show you. She's gonna show all of us. Nobody needs to help the developers. Nobody needs to do anything for the publishers. The game is gonna be alright. It's gonna sell millions. It's the furthest thing from her mind. It's the furthest thing from mine. I guess. That's what it is. Like, I'll never understand that mindset, but there it is.
Yeah, and like I said when we first brought it up, like she is big on pirating, and I've seen you guys talk about it before, and I am on your side. She's really bad about it. I wish that she wasn't.
She takes it so personally too.
Yeah, she acts like she's been wronged. Like your hate for Nintendo, it's almost like she used to work there and she was like a whistleblower, and they found out that it was her specifically, and then they ate her dog.
Man,
it's I don't know. And like I used to pirate like anime and stuff, but also like I like the special features and stuff, and if I like the show I will go and buy it later on for sure.
I'm not gonna lie, I pirated anime too, but I pirated anime because I didn't even know how to fucking access it. Like, it's not even like I wouldn't pay for this shit. I didn't know how to access it. I didn't have a smart TV. Back when I didn't know this shit, I didn't know how to really view it on my smartphone. I didn't know Funimation had an app.
We were pirating and stuff, like technology isn't, or it wasn't where it is now. Like you said, there were no smart TVs. Like they were still pretty much, we were working with fucking dial-up and LimeWire. So, it's just time marches on. Things have gotten better.
Yeah, I've actually changed my stances on emulation as time has went on. I used to think all of it was just stealing, but now I'm just like, you know what? Some of this shit you just can't get, and it doesn't make sense to spend all this fucking money for something that, like sentimental things. I don't even care. Like, go ahead, buy it, but like, it just doesn't logically make sense for somebody to go out of their way to get all this old shit that you can just access for free. Now, new stuff, I just think it's very disingenuous of her to just be like, who cares? Basically, and talking us into all this nonsense, talking in circles. It doesn't help the developer. It doesn't help the publisher. Like, who's telling you this shit? How do you get that? How do you get to this point of delusion? Like, yeah, buying stuff while it's new helps. We've seen a game literally fucking die over the past like 2 years because that Days Gone. Like, if people don't buy the shit, then you're just not gonna.
I was gonna say a couple of games have died. Days Gone, Anthem.
Oh my god, I keep forgetting.
Anthem died for different reasons, but it's all about support,
Yeah, Anthem died for different reasons for sure. But could you imagine if the technology was there and they, you were able to emulate Anthem? Are you fucking paying for Anthem? Like I don't know. Like, I mean, we would, of course, but like, is she gonna pay for Anthem? No. Like, I try not to be judgmental, but like when you're in my face about it, and it's a new thing, and even though I don't really like Nintendo like that anymore, you said hate, I think that's a strong word, but even though I don't like Nintendo like that anymore, I still think that that's a little fucked up. Like, they're in a bad position too because they keep losing lawsuits against it, evidently, which is actually hilarious. I asked Hans because he told me, like, oh yeah, they keep losing lawsuits. They lose every single one. I was like, how? I thought he was gonna say something profound like, well, there's a law that says that you can distribute like different copies of games and their data or some shit. No.
Just to the game or whatever, where it's technically not, Nintendo's anymore or whatever.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something profound like that, but, he was like, nope, it's links. There's so many links that you take it upon yourself, like, you take this danger upon yourself to click all these links, and they can't find the links to the original guy who's doing it, so it's like, okay, that's actually hilarious. That's the funniest thing ever. Like, they keep trying to sue a ghost.
Viruses and stuff is what it boils down to, is what you're saying.
What'd
that is funny.
What'd you say?
It sounds like what you and Hans are saying is people are risking viruses and stuff to play Mario.
Well, I mean, in a sense, yeah. He's actually he's emulating Metroid Dread. He's the guy. And he's not using Yuzu. She said that, I guess Yuzu is an emulation service for the Switch, and you need a Switch to actually use it. Which is fucking pointless if you ask me, but I guess it works well. But yeah, if you got a Switch, what the fuck are you doing emulating on YouTube?
Just get the fucking game.
Unless you bought the game and you wanted to unlock the frame rate, because I guess Metroid, they unlock the frame rate, that shit goes up to like 60 or 120 frames per second and functions at 4K, which is hilarious to me because it's like, oh.
It doesn't look that graphic intensive, but I mean, it's cool. They can do it.
Yeah, it is cool. That's the only thing I'm saying. Like, I think that's cool that they could do that, especially with the frame rate. But it's funny, like if only Nintendo had like a more powerful system. But yeah, he told me, I don't know how he did it. He said he had to go to some video on YouTube and the dude was talking in Spanish because he said all the English-speaking guys that know how to do it are pussies and they're not saying anything. And I think that's hilarious. Could you imagine? Like, and he doesn't speak Spanish, so he had to like Google Translate everything.
I was gonna say Google Translate everything.
Yeah. All to play Metroid Dread. And the shit doesn't even function great on the emulator he's using, I guess. I guess it lags a bit. It's like, serves you right, you filthy
pirate.
pirate.
The game at that point, my guy.
What's up? He doesn't have a Switch.
Oh, well, okay. And see, in cases like that, I guess, No,
I mean,
no, yeah.
I'm not trying to be judgy, but I still think in that scenario where you don't have the Switch, like, that's
Get a
all,
Switch.
huh?
Just get a Switch. You know, like this late in the game for Switch, there's got to be more than one game you want to play for it now. You know, just just get a Switch at this point. Get a Switch. Get the games. Sorry, they don't drop prices on any of the games, but I mean, either you want to play the games or you don't.
Yeah. Well then, I think that wraps that up for today. Later, everybody.
Yeah.